Hello, Laurent Langlais here. Welcome on my blog, on Vlog. So this is my first vlog about the four pillar, Chinese astrology. Why do I start to do vlog? Well, I had literally thousands of people writing to me from all over the world asking me, Laurent, could we please a video with your soothing French accent so we can listen to it when we are taking a shower or washing the dishes. And I think, yeah, well, that's a great idea. On top of it, chances are you won't get everything I'm saying because my accent is quite strong. And if you don't, it will sound much more profound and deeper. So it works for you, it works for me, and who am I to deny this, all those people in the world the pleasure of hearing my French voice? Well, so here we are, we start the vlog. On joke aside, we're gonna talk about some quite serious matter and subject for this new month. So this is about the month of the rat 2015. It is a Yang Earth rat month that goes from the 7th of December 2015 to the 5th of January 2016. Okay, and remember, the Chinese month do not exactly match the one on the Western calendar. Okay, they start later, usually a week later. Okay, so we need to understand the dynamic, the energy, the qi of this month to analyze and make prediction in astrology. Okay, so what do we have here? We have Yang Earth on top of the watery energy of the rat. Usually, the rat month is one full of water, and it is the time of the year, the peak of winter time, where the water element should be strong, regardless of where you live, and Northern Southern Hemisphere, just the time where the water element in the energy should be strong. Okay? Alright, so what's happening here? Well, this time we have a stem. So a stem is the top part, on the branch is the bottom. Okay, the branch, you know it as one of the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac. Okay, so the stem on top is the Yang Earth, and the rat is the branch. Okay, what do we have here? Well, for people who know their cycle of the 5 elements, we have Earth that controls the water. So this month we have something called an Earth and water clash. That's gonna bring an interesting dynamic for the whole world. Okay. The element of the earth is trying to stop and control the element of the water, and we would prefer to have the water flowing freely during this month of the rat. So, what does that mean in terms of my prediction? We're gonna go through them and then I will explain the logic of most of them. Okay, first and foremost, what happens when you put the very heavy, very dense element of the Yang Earth on top of the water? Well, it's very heavy, so it's gonna sink. Okay, this is the image of potentially building collapsing. Okay, so we can expect building collapsing this month in at least two, potentially three different ways. The first idea is heavy snowfall that will accumulate on rooftop collapsing. Why? Because this water of the month is blocked by the Yang Earth that sometimes represents a mountain, and if it blocks, it's gonna become denser, and then it's gonna produce snow. Okay, and the snow is gonna accumulate, and then we have this image of something heavy born out of the water that is collapsing. So potentially heavy snowfall, very likely in some part of the world with rooftop collapsing. That's one thing. The good aspect is that for winter sport season on industry rating to winter sport, it should be actually quite positive with the snowfall. Okay. Second aspect of building collapsing, it is very likely, as the Yang Earth is so heavy on the ground, this month is watery, so it's shaking. It is very heavy that we will have a major occurrence of an earthquake. I obviously hope that there will be no casualty, or that it will happen in an area of the world where people will not be directly touched. But okay, my work as an astrologer is not to basically get too emotionally involved in those events. even if as a human being I can't help but relate and prefer to be the bearer of good news. But I think a major earthquake is very likely during this month. Don't forget, this is a year of the goat. It's also an earth sign. On earth sign tend to bring earthquake as well, okay? So this month, I'm afraid we might see a major earthquake or landslide, because we obviously have this dynamic between earth and water, that basically makes things moving, okay? Third aspect of a building collapsing, it could be with another act of terrorism, but I will get back to this in a little while, okay? Other aspect, well, we could have plane on board crash, but I will get back to this as well. But the image of something quite heavy that sink into the water also brings the idea of a boat on plane crash. Okay, so that's a bit heavy and not very cheerful, but that's the nature also of prediction on events around this word. What else do we have here? Well, with the Yang Earth, we have image of something that doesn't move too much. So in terms of politics, it's conservative forces. On the water is moving, going left and right usually, so it is able to adapt. It's more liberal forces. We will see this month the opposition of very conservative forces and liberal forces in heated debate, especially, for example, in the US about gun regulation. Why gun regulation? Because there is a fire element in this month that I will get into quite quickly. Okay, so a heavy debate between conservative forces and more liberal forces on some agreement, but it's gonna be intense. Also, I consider that the Yang Earth is a bit more masculine in this energy, and the Yin Water is a bit more feminine. Okay, the biology of woman is more related to the moon and water. Okay, so we are very likely to see very interesting debate about gender, theory, polarities, transsexual people, all these things having to do with conservative view on society on who are men and women and what they should or should not do, on more liberal or modern point of view on how gender and polarities works, okay? And there will be a lot of aspects highlighted during this month about this, in my opinion. On the positive side, it is very likely to be a very spectacular month for archaeology, history, and discoveries around this. Why? Because the Yang Earth represent history, represent all artifacts, things made of stone, okay? It has been a spectacular year for archaeology due to the Earth contained in the sign of the goat, but it's gonna be a very spectacular month, and it is likely we will discover something underwater, of course, because it's a watery month and the Earth goes under it, okay? So if you have crazy mystical ideas, it could be about Atlantis, who knows? If it's a bit more down to earth, haha, you see what I did here. Well, we could, we will certainly hear about discovery underwater, potential shipwreck, not easy to pronounce for French. So boats that have sunk, sink. All right. Where we will also discover, most likely hear about discovery about underwater cities, treasure and artifact. Also about potentially cities discovered in archaeology that had an invest system around water, baths, for example, thermal baths, or system of sewage. Okay, so all those things related to earth and water with archaeology and history. Other positive aspect, it should be a good month for things like museum, museology, announcement about maybe project of museum, new credit for museum, and so on. Okay, why is it good for those earth-related industry? This is because of two aspects. First and foremost, suddenly the Earth this month sees the water element. Earth control water, so the water element is the money of the Earth element, okay, in Chinese astrology. So the Earth industry can make good money this month and can benefit from the month. Other aspect, a bit more advanced, for the Yang Earth sign, Wu, the goat, so the goat of this year, called Wei, goat or ram or sheep, whatever you want to call it, is a benefactor sign. So it means the year also benefit this specific month, the element of the earth, okay? That means the earth industry and related activity are very likely to thrive. So we're talking about history, archaeology, museology, also real estate. We will hear spectacular news about house selling, house renovation, or potential real estate coup. In my opinion, we could hear also very interesting things about the mining industry, discovery in mining, but due to the instability with earth and water, they could also be mine collapsing, like it has happened last month in China. Hopefully not, but this is also a possibility. And now we get into a very interesting point, is that there is also the fire element at work. How is there any fire when you only see earth and water? Well, in Chinese astrology, we have to look at three different layers: the stem, the branch, and the hidden stem, called the roots in the branch. Okay, so it's a bit technical. It's like a tree, you know, having roots, a trunk, and branches, and stem, So, in the rat sign, there is a stem, hidden stem, called yin water, gui. Okay, well, the yin water and the yang earth can combine and form fire. It's technical, okay? So, technically, it's not just water and earth clashing, but there is fire formed, well, that means quite a few things. Last month, I was saying a surge of fire in wintry month, watery and wintry month, is not good most of the time. Same here. It has some challenging aspect. Which means, first and foremost, well, I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but we are likely to see another attack, terrorist attack in probably Western countries. Of course, terrorism now is a fact of life and happen also in any part of the world on a regular basis, but we are likely to see another terrorist attack because of the surge of fire, clash with the water. This is what happened with the Paris attack last month, and also, in Lebanon and in Turkey. So it's also likely to happen. And this attack could be around, of course, a building exploding and collapsing because of what I highlighted already. So not so fun. Where will it happen? It's difficult to predict. My gut feeling is around London, but more likely Madrid. I hope not to be the bearer of bad news. It's not what I want to be. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just sharing the logic of this month. It doesn't mean all the challenging aspects will happen. Hopefully, most of them will not happen. Okay? Other challenging aspect we must get into, where we were talking about boat potentially crashing, where with a fire involved, there could be an oil spill. Okay? We have the yang earth clashing with the water, so potentially a boat that, crash on earth, on get open, on rock, and then it spill the oil, which is a fire element, because the fire is forming, and we have this mix of fire and water on earth this month. So it is likely to be an oil spill. Last month there was a terrible dam breaking, in Brazil, and spilling all the toxic material from the mining industry. It is something that could happen also this month. Contamination of water, but more likely with a boat this time. But a dam is possible. However, as the earth is quite strong, I don't think it will be around the dam. I think it will be around a boat. Okay, so oil spill is possible. Hopefully not, Earthquake, attack, oil spill, well, happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Well, that's not what I wish for the world. I just give you my point of view on the tendencies of this month. Good aspect for the oil industry. I'm not in love with the oil industry, but when there are good aspects, let's talk about them. They could find major new oil, reserve in especially offshore, underwater. Okay, because exactly of this logic I've highlighted between earth, water, and fire. Okay. Other good aspect, the mining industry, there could be a risk of collapsing, which is not good. mine collapsing like it has happened in China last month, but there could be a major discovery as well in the mine because of all this aspect, okay? Pipeline on things transporting the oil will also be talked about. Fracking or method of the oil industry will be talked about this month in both positive and less positive aspect. Okay, on other positive aspect is that with the fire forming, we are likely to have a very strong month for the movie industry. Of course, no need to be psychic to see that Star Wars will make million, but it's gonna be a month of new records all over in the movie industry because of the surge of fire happening, which makes this industry stronger than usual for this time of the year. Okay, so that's another positive aspect. At least some people will make good money, which are, the fire industry, a bit better than usual in winter, and the earth industry will be also making good money this month. On people who need earth, well, they're doing a bit better than usual during the wintry, watery month of winter, okay? And finally, we will also see aspect of people coming together. So in face of adversity and challenge, people will come together and have act of human solidarity and helping each other. So it will be, some aspect will be heartwarming this month. Why is that? Because the fire also represents joy, and this union of earth and water represent people coming together. So there will be challenge this month. It has been a very challenging year, but some people will also come together and help each other, and we will see those movements spreading online like we have seen with other attack on natural disasters. So it will be a lot like this again, and let's not forget that in face of adversity and challenge, humans sometimes have beautiful answers to provide and beautiful energy and forces coming together. So that's a very positive aspect despite the challenge. Lastly, I think some traditional people, like for example traditional tribe in Amazonia, will win this month some of their fight because of the earth blocking, the water, and the fire, which is also about spirituality. So those traditional and more spiritual people will win some of their fight. It could be around the idea of a dam or a river in the Amazon. Of course, could be connected to the Brazil terrible event with the mining industry last month, but it could be something else. However, some traditional forces and spiritual forces will win some of their fight this month against, a progress or development that is too excessive. Okay, so there are some positive aspects during this month, challenge and positive aspect, but this is overall what I wanted to highlight. And I invite you to keep reading this article to see the rest of my prediction on the logic at work for this month of the rat 2015. If you want the same quality of analysis, but about you now, about your chart, who you are, what's going to happen for you month by month, well, you can order your 4 pillar. Contact me through www.laurentlanglais.com, LAURENTLANGLAIS.com. I wish you a very happy Christmas and New Year's Eve for people who celebrate, because some people will celebrate the Chinese New Year instead. Nevertheless, it's a time where we can all use a bit of solidarity and human compassion, and I wish you the best. On rendezvous next month for another vlog and article. Bye!